So, what if you guys could pick? Because with all this, like DC and Marvel, all this comic stuff coming out, and even Image with the new Spawn production. What's a comic book that you've read that there's no talks of being made into a movie that you think there should be, like the undiscovered jewel of your comic world? What do you guys think?
There's a new, and it's a newer series from Image, but Volume 1 just came out maybe like a month ago, and it's called Outer Darkness, and it's written by John Layman, the guy who did Chew.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely fantastic. Like, I think it would make an excellent TV series.
That sounds fun.
But it's set in space, and it plays with the concept that, like, heaven and hell are in space rather than above and below. So, like, rather than all these, I mean, there are different alien species and stuff like that, but there's also this area called the Outer Darkness, which is basically like this just hellscape in space. It's like this galactic hell that they have to go through. But yeah, the protagonist is like just arrogant and nobody likes him, and he treats his crew like a dick, or he's a dick to everybody in his crew, and it is really good. I loved it. So I'm excited for Volume 2, and I would love to see that get some screen time.
Do comic books come out monthly? I don't even know.
It's Wednesdays are new comic book days, but it kind of depends on the series. Like, sometimes they'll release like issue 1 month, and then issue 2 the next month, and then issue 3 the next month. Sometimes it can go every 3 months, something like that. It depends on how big of a series it is. Like, there was a recent big release from DC called Last Night on Earth. It's Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. And it's basically their take on Old Man Logan, the Old Man Logan concept, but with Batman. And it's going to be 3 issues, but I think they're releasing every 90 days. So the next one doesn't come out until like September, I think.
Okay.
The Outer Darkness is I don't know, to me, I think one of the it sounds cool in general, but I think one of the more appealing things is, like, I liked Spawn when I was a kid, but I didn't really start getting into collecting the comic books till I was way older. Like, yeah. And
when he was in his 60s.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
I'm excited for the new Spawn movie.
Well, so now, like, I still don't have them all, and I've got 200. So
yeah,
I think that if I want to collect something and have it all of whatever that is, like this Outer Darkness thing, that I'm definitely going to check out, it'll be easier to stay up on it, because it's just starting. It's like getting it on the ground floor. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. I tend to not buy comic books by issues. I usually just wait for the graphic novel, because collecting comic books is just too overwhelming for me. Like, there's so much to it and so many different storylines and blah 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 blah, this universe and that universe, and Earth 1 and Earth 360, just there's too much to keep up with, so I just wait for the volumes to come out usually.
I do have a 9.8 rated by the CGC Spawn #1, and I'm really proud of it. Sealed.
The new Spawn movie. So I was reminded today that Todd McFarlane is directing it, but I'm also looking at it on IMDb, and I did not know Jeremy Renner got cast in it, and now I'm super excited about it.
Who's Spawn?
Jamie Foxx, which I think is a great casting choice. Yeah. I think another...
Can you send me a link, because it's not
right
showing
there.
me?
Yeah, it's kind of tucked away. You got to kind of look for it. But yeah, they're the only 2 people who have officially been cast. I think
I love Jeremy Renner,
so
pull it off. And I think they were talking about trying to get like Leonardo DiCaprio to play Twitch Williams. I think he would have done it, but not like Jeremy Renner. Yeah,
isn't he Isn't he Hawkeye?
Yeah, he's Hawkeye.
Okay,
but
different worlds though. He's not Hawkeye in this. I don't know.
Hawkeye's Marvel and the Avengers and all that. Spawn is Image.
He's going to be like a nerdy reporter guy.
Okay.
In this, like,
I think I saw the the cartoon Spawn a long time ago. I didn't remember even really watching it. I don't know what it's about.
It's been forever since I saw like the original Spawn movie, but
Yeah.
I know the HBO series, Spawn cartoon series, is like very critically acclaimed and loved by Spawn readers, and I haven't gotten around to watching it, but it's on HBO Go.
Yes. I think he was watching it the other day. Yeah, I like him. Jeremy Renner.
This guy's Twitch.
Oh. And Ted Brace here.
What do you think, Dan?
I don't think they need to remake a Spawn. I don't understand why they're doing it. They already had a failure at the first one. Changing the cast isn't going to change much. The cartoon was fine. They didn't need to go any farther than that. The comic book's good. So it's like, why make a new one? It doesn't make sense.
But, and I understand that.
Look how many Batmans and
but,
stuff they've made. And Superman.
I mean, but Batman's Batman. They're always going to make Batman movies, and same with Superman. But with Spawn, I think Todd McFarlane actually wants to make the Spawn movie and make it right, because not that the original Spawn movie was bad, it was just ahead of its time.
He hadn't, from what I understand, he didn't have a lot of creative control over.
They never do. They never give.
It seems like the writers
he's
never
the fucking creator, and the studios never learn.
He's directing this one, so I can't help but think it's going to be
and
better.
writing it.
Yeah, but I'm wondering who's publishing and who's distributing it, because that has a huge factor in how things turn out.
Does it say in there, Nick?
I'm looking. I don't think it
Mr.
does yet.
I'm excited for it. I don't care.
Is it written yet?
Reportedly ready to begin filming in February 2018. So
what?
I don't know if this got halted, because that was a year and a half ago.
That was some time ago.
You probably won't see it for another 4 years.
Status right now says it's in pre-production.
Oh.
Yeah, they all say that, because
it's not. Looks like
it's not even a thing yet.
Kind of looks like the dude off Firefly.
Yeah, he does. A little bit. I see it. I like him. Well, that sounds cool. I can't really answer this because I don't really read comics. Really.
Are there any like mangas that you would love to see? I know they already do that a lot, but
yeah, I would like them to redo Attack on Titan and do it correctly this time. So it's been done, but it wasn't great.
I would love to see a live action Death Note done correctly.
I don't like Death Note. I can't get behind it.
I love Death Note. Death Note's
I know,
so
it's
cool.
very popular.
And Netflix tried to do it, and they had some things right and some things wrong, but the things they had wrong were just like horribly wrong. Willem Dafoe voicing I just forgot his name. The main guy in Death Note was spot on though.
The demon guy?
The death god. His name just escaped me. Rio.
There's a lot of ones I'd like to see into live action movies. I just don't know how they'd pull it off.
Yeah.
Magic of movies.
I always get excited when I get to share something like a movie I really like with my kids when they haven't seen it, especially an older movie.
What'd you guys watch last night?
Signs.
Oh, Signs is so good.
It was
I am crazy with anger.
It was Little Doodle and Dad movie night. What did you watch the other night? Didn't you and Michael watch something?
What did we watch?
I don't remember. They each have their own little movies they watch with them. It's kind of cool because they're teenagers and you don't really hear that a lot. So it's fun that they can't wait to come over and hang out with their dad and us.
You know, the weird thing is, I've seen Signs probably 15 times in my life, and since I started doing the podcast with you guys I started thinking about things differently. You know, now I'm always asking myself, well, okay, what if something like this happened? You know, how close do I think the movie was to how things would really be? They went into motives and possible tactics of the aliens and stuff.
Yeah.
When you listen to that movie really closely, there's a lot of thought about what could or should or would happen. I think it was kind of neat.
Yeah, and as much as I love Split and Unbreakable, I think Signs will always be my favorite M. Night Shyamalan flick. I
No,
mean,
he
Sixth
was
Sense
in
is
that
up there
movie too, right? Like, wasn't he the dude that killed the wife?
Yeah, he makes
Yeah.
cameos in all of his movies.
He's like Stephen King. Pops in and quick small part and then out.
Yeah, because in Split he plays a security guard. I can't remember who he played in Glass.
Was that
Well,
that
I
was that
think
new one, wasn't it? Glass.
Yeah, so Unbreakable came out back in like the early 2000s, and then Split came out, and
was
then
Bruce Willis in Unbreakable?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then Split came out, and everybody thought Split was going to be a standalone film until you get to the very end, and then it confirms that it's a sequel to Unbreakable, and then he announced that he's making a third one.
Oh, okay.
And Glass wasn't as good as a lot of people wanted it to be. It's still like decent, and it's still a good way to close off the trilogy, but
That's cool.
yeah, he makes cameo appearances in all of his movies. I think in Unbreakable he worked in the comic book shop. I think, but I'm not
I got
positive.
off topic a little bit. Dan, what would you like to see made into a movie?
Animal Man.
Yeah.
But they'll never do it, so
You're writing that, aren't you?
no.
We can get in on the ground
Well,
floor.
I don't know. They did.
We already
they
got
did,
the other one.
They did Swamp Thing. I know Swamp Thing's got way more of a legacy than Animal Man does. But
yeah, of course. Like I'd never even heard of Animal Man until I heard you guys talk about it.
It'd be great if they did make some more, I don't want to say obscure because obviously they're known, but lesser known hero movies because it seems like we always get the same ones over and over.
They fucking did Aquaman. Like,
Yeah, DC doesn't know how to write a fucking decent movie, though. Like,
And-
they just don't know how to do it. And Marvel has so many tropes in theirs.
you didn't like the Batman trilogy?
The Batman trilogy was good for its time, but over time, I don't know, they haven't really progressed. Like,
No, they haven't. They have
haven't-
not done it.
they
That's
haven't-
like their pinnacle, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
this DC cinematic universe that they're trying to do, they're trying to do like too much because they tried to do what Marvel was doing and it wasn't working for them, and now they're doing all these standalone films like the Joker movie that's coming up later this year. That's going to be a standalone movie. It has nothing to do with their cinematic universe.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm excited for it, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I think it looks good. I'll
But-
watch it.
How old is this Animal Man comic?
from the 70s, but I'm talking about specifically Scott Snyder's Animal Man.
There's multiple ones.
He's an amazing writer when it
Mhm.
comes to picking up it's like one of the most unknown comic book heroes. Like, nobody ever talks about Animal Man because his powers are essentially kind of boring. Like, he can take the form of other animals, but the way Scott Snyder wrote him was fucking awesome. And
Like any animal?
him teaming up with Swamp Thing and the fact that his daughter has some of his powers and she uses them to fight the rot, and there's the whole comic book series. It was
Sounds
short-lived and it was fucking amazing, but they won't ever touch it because you have your core four, which is your Justice League, your shitty, MC universe, and it's like, how many fucking Logan movies are we gonna have to watch before we all join hands across America?
You know what? When the X-Men movies came out, I liked the first one. Maybe it was because I was younger, and the second one wasn't horrible, but they progressively started to bore me more and more as they came out.
I think the first one was fucking boring. I saw it in theaters and I was like, why are they wearing these suits? And then they make a joke about wearing the suits, and I'm like, yeah, you didn't have to write the suits in there though at all. And you could have cast people better. Like, Halle Berry did not do a good job in that film.
No,
She had a Tahitian accent. 1 minute, the next minute she's Jamaican, the next minute she's fucking English, the next minute she's American.
I guess I didn't pay that much attention to
Yeah.
this movie. I've seen it once.
It was fucking bad.
I remember
And it
I
was
didn't like Anna Paquin as Rogue.
Anna Paquin's a shitty actress, and every movie she gets into, it's like this. She's like the worst Kristen Stewart. She's just so bad. And I know she's pretty and she's been in a bunch of shit, but like
4 movies, 1 look.
but it's like, okay, there's a difference. Like Jennifer Connelly doing like Requiem for a Dream to Dark Water. Like, Dark Water was a shitty movie, but it didn't make any money. But her acting skills in Requiem for a Dream made her career what it is. Even though she's a very bland character in almost every single movie she's ever been in. There's a reason why she's held as that kind of actress, though.
right.
As where like Anna Paquin plays the same looking character in every fucking film she's ever been in, and they never cast her like she should never be the star of anything. She should always be a supporting role, and she never is.
I liked the first season of True Blood, and then it just turned to shit.
That whole.
I never
writing
finished
experience
that
was
series
Fucking
still.
awful. What a shitty show. You know, it made me mad too because the first season had so much like. I don't like vampires, but I watched the show because my friend liked it, and he was like, "Let's just watch it together." I was like, "Fine." I was like, "Yeah, first season was pretty good." I think it's got way too much sexual overtones in it because it's like you live in the fucking bayou. Not everybody should be this hot.
Yeah.
Like seriously, this is not, you know.
Yeah, it's like a porno with a side story.
Yeah, but well, that's what season 2 and 3 and 4 became, and I was like, God, I'm glad I stopped watching after season 2.
Who was your favorite character on there, though? If you had to
Bill.
pick one.
Bill? Yeah,
Not
he was
mine.
the shit.
I like Elsie.
Lafayette.
Oh, Lafayette.
Oh,
was
yeah.
cool,
I
too.
fucking love Lafayette. Here's your AIDS burger.
Yeah, like he's pretty funny.
Yeah, but he was kind of a badass too, right?
Yeah, in a way.
And I love Jessica too.
I don't think she's a good actress.
Oh, shit.
In Daredevil, I was like, man, you cast her in this perfect spot. Someone who's out of the fucking way, and then she kept getting screen time. I'm like, stop putting her on screen.
I love her.
She has the same face in every fucking episode. It's this surprised I farted face, but it's like, yeah, it's I don't know, whatever. What do I know? I don't make movies, but I'm just simply saying that I think movies these days are fucking terrible. Like 9 out of 10 of them are so bad, and I'm definitely not happy they keep remaking stuff. It's like, how much shit do you have on your shelf that you can't fucking make? That you have to keep remaking things over and over and over again.
On that positive note, why don't you say hi to listeners, Dan?
This is Don't Look on the Bed podcast for all things comedy and horror. I'm one of your pissed off hosts, Dan Wonder. Next to me is Natalie Rose.
Hi.
Next to her is Vinny Rose.
I am.
Next to her is and me, and then Vinny Rose is Nick.
You don't even get a
Continue
last
with
name.
the podcast.
You don't even get a last name.
Can we try that over?
No, I'm not doing it again.
Hi, listeners. Thanks for hanging in there. We were off for that 4th of July, and we're back. Well, we had an episode before this, but we're back in the saddle, if you will.
Just like the AC/DC song.
I don't think I've seen that. I heard that song. Seen it? I don't think I've seen that song.
Back in the saddle again.
Oh, I'm missing out on that?
It's terrible, but due to rising costs, dirty deeds will no longer be done dirt cheap.
Inflation.
What a shitty band.
Did everyone watch Stranger Things season 3?
Yes.
No.
Not yet.
Damn it, Natalie.
I'm
Take
sorry.
forever.
I know. I
wanted to talk about that too.
I did too because I didn't like it, but
I didn't either. I liked it. Never mind.
yeah.
Okay, I'll watch it at some point.
Yeah.
You go watch it right now.
Yes, sir. Bye. Guys, read my notes for me.
Can I ask you why you didn't like it
No.
without giving anything away?
Yeah.
Let me see how to articulate.
Because I can give you 5 reasons off the top of my head why I didn't like it.
I can give you 13 reasons why.
Well, Mike is annoying.
Oh yeah,
He's annoying as shit. Billy's annoying.
Mike's the main character, right?
One of them, yeah. He's like, Will's the one that got taken in season 1.
But Mike's the guy
Like
who,
his best friend.
The guy who was in
Oh, he likes 11.
like Finn Wolfhard. Okay, yeah. That's his name. But yeah. Yeah, I don't like him. I think Dustin. Dustin's cool.
Did they put too much pressure on it to make it good?
No, it's the same thing Disney does. They get a hold of something good and they fucking wring the shit out of it until you're beat over the head that it's set in the fucking 80s. It doesn't need to be like that. Do you remember why the first season was so good? They had simple nods here and there.
Uh-huh.
It's a little bit of the 80s. It's a little bit here.
Yeah,
it's
like
the clothes. It's the style. It's the way they talk.
Poster in the background.
You didn't need to fucking tell me over and over again with neon lights and Chips Ahoy and fucking VHS tapes that it's the 80s. I don't care.
Spoiler alert, there's Chips Ahoy in the movie, or in the show.
Or Scoops Ahoy, sorry. It's
Scoops Ahoy
it's
in
the
this,
little ice cream
in this
place
season.
that Steve works at. But it's like,
oh yeah,
I think the acting went a little downhill. 11 is still pretty good, but like Will in this season is a fucking nuisance. And I don't even know why he's in the show anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
He's like a bitchy girlfriend.
And I knew they were going to do that because the second season was really good.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no way they can make a third good season because everything but The Office and Parks and Rec has shitty seasons. Like, they just keep getting shittier and shittier.
I did not care for the third season version of Winona Ryder either.
I don't.
Now I gotta watch this.
I don't understand why they keep. I know they have to keep the world building going because it's a small town,
and all this stuff is happening within the small town. You think it would breathe? You think it wouldn't? You got to breathe more life into where they're at, and the things they're getting attacked by are they're getting uglier and shittier each time I look at them. And I'm like, you can make new monsters look better. You can also make this town kind of grow a little bit. It doesn't need to keep it so.
I know there's something to be said for people that aren't afraid to kill a loved character, but I think where their mistake, where they went horribly wrong, is killing Sean Austin in season 2.
Oh, he was great. He was a great little addition. He was like
Bob.
a breath of Bob was like a breath of fresh air.
I don't think that. I think he went too fast.
He was positive.
Yeah,
and he was happy, and he was happy to help.
Yes,
and he believed the mom, even though he didn't understand it. He was like, "I'm with you. I'm going to do this."
Yeah,
and they fucking killed him off.
Yep.
And I was like, "Great! Now that gives us a reason for her to be upset all the fucking time and never date the cop." Thanks a lot.
Oh, that's ruined.
Oh, that's in episode 1 that they hint at that. For season 3.
I haven't seen it.
They get married.
No, trust me, I didn't ruin anything, Natalie. Okay. You're not gonna like this season, though. I
watched the first episode of season 3.
You're gonna be like, okay, we fucking get it, like the whole time.
I'll say a show that had 3 great seasons with Deadwood.
It's good. It's good.
And
show.
then I'm working on that because that new movie came out. So
how many seasons of Deadwood are there?
3.
3.
Yeah, and a movie.
and they just released a movie.
Yeah.
And they released a movie so that they could wrap up the whole story.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Which is a smart thing to do.
To me,
well, it's been off the air for so long.
Even Sons of Anarchy did it right until they did 5 good seasons. The first 4 seasons of Sons of Anarchy was good. Sorry, they did
Sons
4
of
good
Anarchy.
ones. And then 5 to 8 just went to shit.
This is what I loved about Breaking Bad, is they knew when to end it. Like,
that was good.
I'm not going to say that there were portions of Breaking Bad that I didn't hate or were hard to get through. Like the first season alone was tough for me to get through. Like, I had to really dedicate myself to getting through the first season. Really? Skylar was annoying.
It's like the best season.
She's annoying in all the seasons, though.
I like the brother-in-law.
Hank's wife. I like Hank, but Hank's wife was annoying too.
Yeah, she is.
The shoplifter.
See, but Terry Gilliam knows how to write a story and not write himself into a corner. Because every day you could think that Hank's going to get caught. And he never does because he's fucking lucky.
But you're not, on the other hand, though, you're not like, this is getting boring because it's just him almost getting caught all the time. Like, he was so creative about how he did it.
Yeah.
You know?
Or the fact that when he got caught, he sometimes had to eat a shit sandwich to get out of something.
Yeah.
And that's like the whole point of his character is like he needs to constantly eat shit sandwiches.
What kind of condiments do you like on your shit sandwiches?
Ketchup.
Gross.
Somebody told me that Dan liked shit sandwiches, and I said, he doesn't eat bread.
Yeah, it's true. I try to stay away from carbs. Allie, what's our story about?
You think there's carbs in shit?
No, it's all bacteria and water.
You don't think there's any carbs in shit?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just bacteria and water.
Are there
90% of your
carbs
waste is water
in feces?
Nutritional value of turds.
Well, you can't make this up, can you?
Sure, that's on WebMD somewhere.
Does human poop have any calories or nutrients left in it? Yes, but the exact amount and composition will depend on a lot of factors.
What the
digestion involves various chemical processes, so even if 2 people ate the same exact meals for days, their feces wouldn't necessarily be exactly the same. This is from Quora.com, so I don't know.
One of these things just doesn't belong here.
Shit sandwich.
Nally, where are we going today?
We're staying in Arkansas.
Okay.
We're doing Texarkana Moonlight Murders.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the crowd.
I'm gonna tell you what.
Yeah, so we got the RV parked. Everybody's just chilling, telling our little stories by the fire. We got a mob of people around us, ready to listen, eager.
With pitchforks and torches.
Yeah, ready to listen, for sure. All right, so Texarkana Murders. These were a series of unsolved murders and violent crimes committed in and around Texarkana in the spring of 1946. They called the murderer the Phantom Killer or the Phantom Slayer. The Phantom Killer attacked 8 people, killing 5 of them in a 10-week period. This all happened between February 22nd, 1946 and May 3rd, 1946. So he went on quite the spree. So the first attack happened on February 22nd, 1946, around 11:45 p.m. on a Friday night. Jimmy Hollis, age 25, and his girlfriend, Mary Jean Larry, or LaRae, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, Mary Jean, she age 19, they were parked outside or on a secluded road known as Lover's Lane, of course. They were out and about after seeing a movie. Lover's Lane was an unpaved road that was 50 feet off of Richmond Road. It was about 100 yards from the last row of city of homes. At 11:55 p.m., a man wearing a white cloth mask that looked like a pillowcase when had holes cut out where the eyes were.
Ku Klux Klan.
That's what I was thinking is, what's that movie where they're making, he's like, my wife sewed these Ku Klux Klans out of pillowcases and she worked real hard and they were like all messed
everybody
up.
Left.
Like Jonah Hill's like, I can't see out of mine.
Oh, you're talking about
Django Unchained?
Yes.
Yeah. I loved that
I was
scene
totally thinking
so
of that
much.
scene when I wrote that.
Well, maybe your wife can make them next time.
Oh, that is a classic scene.
My wife worked on these for hours.
Yes. That's exactly what went through my head when I was writing that out. So he came up with his mask on and he came up on Hollis's driver's side door and then he shined a flashlight in the window to blind him. So Hollis didn't know what the guy was doing. He thought he was pranking him. So he says, you have the wrong person. And the guy said, I don't want to kill you, fellow, so just do what I say. So the couple was ordered to get out of the car via the driver's side door. The man then ordered Hollis to take off his goddamn breeches. Hollis did as the man asked, and then the man struck him twice in the head with the pistol. Let's see. Lost my place. All right. Mary had later told investigators that it was so loud that she initially thought that the guy shot the gun, but no, that was just Hollis's skull being fractured. So that must have been gosh damn loud. Oh my gosh. Okay. She thought that he was. Gosh. Oh my gosh! She thought that he was trying to rob him, so she showed him the man Hollis's wallet, and there she's like, "Look, we don't have any money." So he's like, "No, that's not what I want." He then told her, or then he struck her with a blunt object. Then he said, "You need to stand up." So of course she did, and he told her to run. So she tried to flee towards the ditch, but the man told her to run in a different direction. Mary spotted a vehicle that was parked off the road, but it was empty. The man caught up to her and asked her, "Why are you running?" And she replied with, "You told me to." He then called her a liar, knocked her down, and sexually assaulted her with the barrel of his gun. Afterwards, she ran to a nearby house about a half a mile down the road. She did see a car on the road, and she tried to signal for help, but they just drove on by. Luckily, the people in the house were home. She was able to wake them up and call the police. Hollis regained consciousness and was able to flag down a car on the road, and the driver left him on the road and drove to a nearby funeral home where he called the police. Within 30 minutes, the Bowie County Sheriff W.H. Bill Presley and 3 other officers arrived at the scene, but the man was already gone. They found Hollis's pants about 100 yards away from the parked car. Mary was hospitalized overnight for minor head injuries, and Hollis was in the hospital for several days, of course, because he had that skull fracture. But both of them ended up living. However, they both gave conflicting reports about the guy, what he was wearing, his description. They said that Mary claimed that the man was wearing a bag over his head with cutouts for eyes in the mouth. She said she could see under the mask and that he was African American. Well, Hollis said the man was white, around 30 years old, but he said he couldn't see his full features because he was blinded by the flashlight. They both said that the man was about 6 feet tall, and law enforcement repeatedly challenged Mary and Hollis, saying that he said that they knew who it was and that they were just covering for the guy, which I don't see how that made any sense. Yeah,
because law enforcement's fucking stupid sometimes.
It's like in that movie Lake Placid. Do you remember that movie?
I never saw it.
I loved it. Well, they found where the alligator. You know, when an alligator poops somebody out, a lot of times you'll see full body parts.
Right.
Well, he found a toe, and he's like, "Does this look like your friend?" And he goes, "You seem taller." I love that movie. Betty White's like, "I think you're all a bunch of cocksuckers."
I like Betty White. I like when you get those updates like, just so you know, it's whatever the date is, and Betty White is doing fine, or whatever the saying is on there. It's like, oh, okay, good.
Like she's still alive
Yeah,
or something?
yeah,
Oh,
they
okay.
give updates that she's still good. Because she's,
This-
90-something?
Yeah. This first incident sounds a lot like,
Zodiac?
yeah, Zodiac.
Yes.
That's what I was
there was
thinking
some
of this whole time.
comparisons later on with the
'Cause
Zodiac.
Zodiac did
very
that too
much.
to a
Yep.
to a couple that was on a lover's lane type
Jeez.
thing,
Yes.
but actually killed him.
Yeah.
Betty White's 97,
And doing
Damn.
great.
and I'd hang out with her today.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, who wouldn't?
I don't know who wouldn't. It's blasphemy. All right, March 24th, 1946, Richard L. Griffin, age 29, and his girlfriend Polly Ann Moore, 17, were found dead in Griffin's 1941 Oldsmobile sedan. This was between 8:30 and 9 a.m. by a passing motorist that found them. The car was parked on Lover's Lane again. At first, the motorist thought that they were both sleeping. So Griffin was found between the front seats on his knees with his head resting and his hands in his pockets. Or his hands were crossed and his pockets were turned inside out, excuse me. Polly was found in the back seat, face down and sprawled out. Griffin had been shot twice while still in the car. Both of them were also shot in the back of the head, and they were fully clothed. There was blood on the ground outside the car, so police originally thought that they were killed outside the car and then put back in it. But then they saw the congealed blood on the running boards, and it had flowed from the bottom out to the car door. So then they saw the little puddle on the ground. They also found a .32 cartridge shell, which was possibly shot from a Colt pistol wrapped in a blanket. There was a rumor that these two were sexually assaulted, but modern reports now refute this claim. A citywide investigation was started. It had police, sheriffs, and the Department of Public Safety and the FBI from both Texas and Arkansas. By March 27th, they interviewed 50 to 60 witnesses, including patrons from a nearby club called Club Dallas. Now, Club Dallas was a local bar near the crime scene. By March 30th, police had posted a $500 reward in an effort to gain any new information. Unfortunately, no clues or suspects came of this, but over 100 false leads did. April 13th, 1946, which was a Saturday, Betty Jo Booker, 15, was playing her alto saxophone in a regular weekly gig with her band, the Rhythmaires. The Rhythmaires at the VFW Club was on West 4th and Oak Street. It was around 1:30 a.m., and her friend Paul Martin, who was 16, came to pick her up from the performance. Paul's body was found later that morning around 6:30 a.m. by Mr. and Mrs. G.H. Weaver and their son. He was lying on his left side by the northern edge of North Park Road. More blood was found further down the road on the other side of the road by a fence. So I'm not sure if he was moved or if he was able to walk and stumble and then finally went down, and it didn't say. He had been shot 4 times. Once through the nose, from behind the left fourth rib, or the left side fourth rib, in the right hand, and then finally through the back of the neck. Later that morning, they found Betty Jo's body behind a tree at 11:30, and it was almost 2 miles from where Paul's body was found. She was found by members of the Boyd family and their friend Ted Schopke, who had joined the search party. She was fully clothed, lying on her back. Her right hand was in her pocket, and her right hand was in the pocket of her buttoned overcoat. She had been shot twice, once in the chest and then once in the face. It was with the same weapon that was used in Richard and Polly's murders, a .32 Colt pistol. Paul's 1946 Ford Club Coupe was found about 3 miles away from where Betty Jo's body was, and about 1.5 miles from where Paul's body was.
You don't get much cooler than a 1946 Ford Coupe.
I was going to ask you, do you know what that looks like?
Yeah, look, I already looked it up for you.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. That color is gorgeous, too.
Yeah.
Look that up if you're playing along
I'm
at
working
home.
on
It's a 1946 Ford Club Coupe. And it is...
I'd drive one of those.
Yeah, I would definitely drive one of those. I love that color, too. That shiny blue. Oh, man.
I like the orange one.
Oh, he doesn't have an orange one up. It's just a blue one on that screen. Yeah, look, that's a pretty car if you're into the older model cars. Okay. A friend of Paul said that he didn't think that the couple had a fight and that Paul did not have any enemies. They were not able to locate Betty's saxophone at the crime scene, but they did end up finding it under some brush on October 24th, still in its suitcase. The reward was then set for $1,700 for information leading to the double murders. There was a rumor that a local minister turned in his own son. Captain Gonzalez made a statement on April 18th that the murderer had not been caught and that the rumors were circulating among the public in the paper were, quote, a hindrance to the investigation and harmful to innocent persons.
Wait, so they were found dead on April 13th and they didn't find her saxophone until October 24th?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
So they didn't say if it was just missed or I wonder if somebody put it back there.
There's that car I don't like we saw the other day at Studebaker.
Oh yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that front end. Let's see. May 3rd, 1946 was a Friday. Virgil Starks, 37, a farmer and welder, with his wife Katie, 36, were at home in their ranch-style house, which is on a 500-acre farm off Highway 67. It's almost 10 miles northeast of the Texarkana border. He was sitting in his armchair, and Katie had just brought him a heating pad for his sore back. He was sitting down to listen to his favorite radio program. Katie went in the bedroom to lie down. She heard something in the backyard and told Virgil to turn down the radio. Seconds later, she heard what sounded like breaking glass. Virgil was shot in the back of his head twice from a closed window 3 feet from him. She thought he dropped something, so she went to go check out and see what it was. Well, as she entered the doorway, she saw Virgil stand up and then slump back down in his chair. She saw blood and ran over to lift him up or lift his head up and see what was going on, and then realized he was dead. So she ran to the phone to call the police. She rang the wall crank on the phone twice and was shot 2 times in the face from the same window. One bullet went through her right cheek, and then one went through then behind her left ear. So the other went just below her. So it broke her jaw and splintered several teeth before lodging under her tongue. She dropped, but then she was able to get back up. She ran to get the pistol from the living room, but the blood ran down her face, so it was blinding her. And then she heard the killer tearing loose the screen wire from the back porch. So she turned around, ran to the bedroom to leave a note because she thought she was going to die. At that point, the killer ran to the back of the house and made his way up the steps and to the inside of the screen porch through the back screen door and came through the kitchen window. She then turned and ran through the dining room, through the bedroom, down a hallway, through another bedroom, then back through the living room, then out the front door. Mind you, she's gushing blood this whole time and has like no teeth.
I kind of visualize like in The Green Mile when the bad guy was sneaking into the house, how he cut the screen. Like in that old time house. That's probably what it looked like.
Yeah, I'm probably, because that was about that time period, wasn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Now, was Green Mile set in the 30s or 40s? 30s, wasn't it?
I'm looking.
1930, 38, I think.
Okay, so this is 46, so fairly close. I'm just thinking of her wall crank phone. Like, I wonder how many times you had to crank it to get.
You don't remember?
No.
Oh.
I don't remember that.
35.
35 times to get to an
35.
operator to get. Then the operator had to do like the switchboard to get to the police, and it's.
And then the phone number had words in it like Jackson 0936.
Or phone number. I need to ring phone 2. When there was that many phones back then, like I need to ring phone 4. That's just crazy to me. It's like, why don't you just pull out her cell phone and Google it? Duh. Okay, so she was running across the street. She had lost more teeth and lots of blood, and she ran to the house across the street, which was her brother-in-law's house, but unfortunately no one was home. So she ran 50 more yards down to A.V. Pratter's house. Luckily, Pratter was home. She gasped, Virgil's dead, and then she collapsed.
Virgil's dead.
Pratter then shot an air rifle to summon another neighbor, Elmer Taylor. Pratter called to Taylor to bring his car because Mr. and Mrs. Starks has been shot.
That is about as hillbilly as it gets.
That is amazing. That's how you talk to folk. Bring your car.
I'm on my way.
He's like, I'm here.
And that when the lights went out in Georgia.
Oh my God. Let's see. Katie gave Taylor one of her teeth with a gold filling. She was semi-conscious in the front seat, slumped forward. She had obviously lost a lot of blood, but her heart was normal and she didn't go into shock. This chick is a badass. Miller County Sheriff W.E. Davis questioned her in the operating room. It was all over the papers the next morning. Murder strikes city again. Farmer's wife slain. Farmer slain, wife wounded. Post reports were conflicting. One police report said that the chair had caught fire with Virgil in it from the heating pad, but another said that the chair had caught fire because of the heating pad, but Virgil had fallen to the floor, so he did not get burned. Blockades were set up several miles northeast and southwest of Highway 67-8 East. Sheriff Davis called in officers from all over to help, including Captain Gonzalez, Sheriff Presley. After looking around the house, they were baffled at how she did not bleed to death. There were only 2 bullet holes in the window, which made Sheriff Davis believe that the weapon was an automatic rifle, similar to that of the other.
Wait, what?
What?
Say that again.
Which part?
There were 2 holes?
2 bullet holes in the window. He shot Virgil from the window.
Right.
And then when he came in, he shot her.
Why would he think that was an automatic rifle?
I don't know.
I think it's because if the person got hit maybe fast enough that they wouldn't have time to react or shot. So if the bullet holes were close enough, maybe, I don't know.
Maybe, yeah, that's weird. Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, how do they think it was wrapped in a blanket or on the first one?
Probably had like fabric on the
Oh, yeah,
round.
maybe. You're right. They believed that after the killer shot Virgil, they waited outside to kill Katie.
If it was Natalie's blanket, there'd be traces of urine on it.
Ew. Gross.
It's not my... Yeah. That's not true. All right, so 3 clues were found at the scene. The calibers of bullets, a flashlight found under the hedge of where Virgil was shot, and bloody prints around the house, on the kitchen floor, and then there were smudged fingerprints in other places. So although they could not confirm that it was the Phantom Killer because the shells were a .22, it very well could have been. Bloodhounds found the scent that led to the highway, but then vanished. Officers patrolled Lover's Lane, hoping to prevent an attack. By Sunday night, more police help was called in, and they detained 12 suspects, but only kept 3 for further questioning. 47 officers worked around the clock to solve the cases.
This was not planned out,
What?
the murder.
Yeah, it seems like it was just kind of random.
You don't
Oh,
you don't plan to go kill someone with a 22. Like,
No.
you decide, oh, hi.
maybe it was that neighbor because he had his gun ready.
Yeah, you decide you're going to kill somebody and have a 22 laying around and go do it. You don't like, I'm going to go get a 22 caliber rifle to kill people with.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
No.
I don't know what a 22 is, so...
It's
Maybe
a small
someone,
caliber.
maybe someone was just trying to signal someone else and accidentally hit him.
22s are dangerous because they go so far. They've got like a 1.5 mile range.
Oh.
But you can't aim it. They're pretty accurate, but there are people, like, if you get shot with a 22, you're probably just going to get really, really pissed. Like, you probably go to the hospital, but it might not kill you.
Depending how
If
far
you get you
away
in the
you
back,
are.
he was close.
Yeah.
He was real close because
But-
it was 3 feet from the window. I think is what it said.
22's a little more dangerous than like a pellet gun.
Oh, so it's really small.
Yeah, the bullet is probably
It's like a BB.
no, the bullet that comes out of the gun is probably like
Like a tip of
like that,
like a sharpened pencil.
kind of.
For those of you who can't see with your ears. The flashlight from Virgil in Katie's house was sent to Washington, D.C.
It was a mag light.
I don't think they've had mag lights
That
like that.
Well, I can tell you what the flashlight was in a little bit. For further inspection by the FBI. Katie began to show improvements at the hospital as well, because she is a badass. The unofficial theory for the murders was sex mania, as there was no money or jewels taken from the house. The Texarkana Gazette printed a headline on Sunday, May 5th, 1946, "Sex Maniac Hunted in Murders."
Even though there was no signs of sexual assault.
None in this case.
So they were just drumming shit up.
Yeah, there's a lot of
You
that.
could
in
write
here.
a song called "The 22 Caliber Sex Maniac."
22 caliber sex murderer. That's a hit right there.
Yo,
You can use that in your band if you want.
all right.
The night that Virgil was killed and Katie was attacked, the reward went up to $7,025. The following Tuesday, a mobile radio station was being sent from Austin, Texas. Gonzalez stated that the unit was one of the best in the country. They also received a fleet of prowl cars furnished with two-way radio equipment. This way, the officers can talk with headquarters with other patrol cars. Gonzalez did an interview where he asked residents to please help out and stop spreading rumors. Quote, "These only take officers from the main route of investigations. It is so important that we capture this man that we cannot afford to overlook any lead, no matter how fantastic it may seem." So on Thursday morning, May 9th, Sheriff Davis was notified that the flashlight was found at the scene of Virgil's murder contained no fingerprints. On Wednesday, May 29th, a colored picture of the front page of the Texarkana Gazette showed the flashlight. It was the Texarkana Gazette's first spot of a colored photograph, and you can see it online on the wiki page where I got this from. There's a picture of it. The description under the picture read, quote, "Have you seen this 2-cell flashlight? This is a picture in detail of the flashlight found at the scene of the Starks murder. This has a 2-cell all-metal flashlight, both ends of which are painted red. 3 rivets hold the head of the flashlight to the body of the light. There has been only a limited number of these lights sold in this area. If you have owned or know anyone who owned one of these lights, report it at Sheriff W.E. Davis, Miller County Courthouse, Texarkana."
Nick has one.
Oh, you do? You're playing with it right now. It was an heirloom.
He's like, "That's not my flashlight."
Ugh. No, we're done. We're moving on. You may be the one to aid in solving the phantom slings, end quote. God damn it. He's nasty.
That's good radio.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, okay. Yeah, okay. On May 11th edition of the Texarkana Gazette, Sheriff Presley and the Chief of Police, Jack N. Runzels, asked for any information on missing persons on the nights of the murders. Quote, "Somebody in Texarkana or Bowie or Miller counties knows that somebody
Bowie
else was out of pocket on the nights of February 22nd to the 23rd, March 23rd to the 24th, April 13th to the 14th, and May 3rd. And Sheriff W.H. Presley and Chief Police Jack Reynolds wants that person having such knowledge to report them immediately." So, all these rumors are going on. They can't find anybody still. We want every man, woman, and child in these 2 counties to recall the dates of these murders, and so to recall whether or not any person close to them was missing or out of pocket during those nights. And then they basically tell them, please let us know if you need anything. So they're desperate at this point to find someone.
They need a Tommy Lee Jones.
They do, like in a perfect world.
Search every outhouse, hen house, doghouse, and whorehouse.
That sounds like a plan to me. So more rumors, of course, circulated. Parents warned their children not to be out late. Then the second murders happened, and there was a curfew set for businesses. After Virgil Stark's murder, the whole town went crazy. Residents soon began to lock doors, block windows, arm themselves. Stores sold out of locks, windows, guns, anything that they can use for protection. Reports flooded the police station about prowlers. Many businesses lost business because the town was too afraid to go out. A lot of people were getting turned in and having guns pointed at them for no, even though that wasn't them. I think I read something about this guy was walking around and he looked a bit disheveled, but it was just a guy that got wet while waiting for the bus. And so somebody turned him in because they, figured that's got to be the guy right there. So, there was also kids that would purposely go to the park on side roads like Lover's Lane and pretend to be in the car, making out or whatever, just to see if they can hope to catch the killer.
Kids
That's
are
a
so
dumb
dumb.
idea.
Yeah, little vigilantes.
God.
Yeah, that's not
I
smart.
think they're fucking packing. Dude, they're sitting there and making out and shit like that, and some dude roll up to the window, and all of a sudden they're just like, "Break yourself, fool!"
I'm gonna kill you. The fear crossed into other cities as well, located around the Texarkana. Lots of false calls were made to the police over suspicious-looking people and noises from inside of homes. Eventually, the hysteria passed, and there was no more reports of murders. The Texas Rangers slipped out of town quietly, not having to announce themselves leaving.
Walker.
Walker, Texas Ranger. Wasn't that one of the Talladega Nights kids?
That's both Walker and Texas.
Walker,
Ranger.
Texas Ranger.
I want a couple of sissies. I named them Dr. Quinn and Medicine Woman.
Now that's a good movie.
It is.
They continued to try to find the killer. There were many suspects in the murders, but none ever stuck. And the murders remain unsolved to this day. In pop culture, there was a movie in 1976 called The Town That Dreaded Sundown. They still show it, I think like once a year in a park or something around that area. There was a meta sequel released in 2014 under the same name, and references to the murders have also been in books, video games, and television as well.
What's meta sequel mean?
A meta sequel means it's a sequel about itself.
Can you use an example, like another movie like that? Because I didn't know.
Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Sure. A meta sequel. That's, from what I understand, that's what it is.
I'm trying
So it's
to
a
find
remake?
I can't even find a definition online.
Is it do you mean
So
a remake?
now, slowly merging into the genre traffic is the meta sequel, a sequel that is more of a commentary on the previous film or films in the series and their resulting cultural impact than an actual continuation of the predecessors.
It's a fucking sequel.
Disaster Room would have been, or Artist would have been a meta sequel of The Room.
So like you have Amityville Horror, right?
Right.
And then you have like Amityville. Or you have like Conjuring, and then you have like the universe it exists in. It's just the same. It's a sequel. That's all it is.
Oh.
But they just call it meta sequel because it talks more about the first one than going into it a second one.
Okay.
That's all it is.
All right. Thank
So
you
it's
for
basically
clearing
like
that up.
it's like a sequel that breaks the fourth wall, but
Sorry you had to.
specifically focusing on the first movie.
Oh, because I didn't know what it was either. I'm like, well, I guess the last one this comes up. But anyway, that's the Texarkana Moonlight murder, still unsolved to this day. I think it'd be so sweet if they were able to find out who done it with our modern technology.
I want them to reopen Zodiac.
I think everybody wants to reopen Zodiac.
That dude's probably dead by now.
I'm sure, but still, it'd be cool to get like
Did you ever hear that thing where that
answers.
guy
to it.
said that the Zodiac killer was his father because of letters he wrote him when he was a kid?
Yeah, but I mean, it's all bullshit. Who knows?
Ted Cruz was a Zodiac killer for a while too.
Yeah.
So
This guy swore up and down that he was the son of the Zodiac killer.
So is Ted Danson.
Oh.
Though David Fincher's Zodiac was an amazing movie.
yes,
Because David
it's
Fincher's
been
an
on
amazing
Netflix
director.
for a long time too. I'm
Yeah.
so glad it's still on there.
Jake Gyllenhaal is kind of a weird choice for that film, but he
I like Jake Gyllenhaal.
he did a pretty good
He
job.
does a good
He's a
job
good
in
actor.
everything.
I like Mark Ruffalo's character better.
I like Mark Ruffalo too. Super.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for you guys. There's
Should-
your information.
Should we get to the email?
Oh, we never did. We missed the email last week too. Sorry,
Did you
guys.
pick an email out? Because I didn't even look.
Yeah, I found a pretty good one here. Hang on, let me.
We love your emails. Don't get us wrong.
Yeah.
We are so busy.
Nick said he was going to go through them this week, so I let him.
I was so excited to tell the story. It's my fault.
It's okay, Natalie. We get excited sometimes. It's okay.
All I'm going to say is you better have picked a good email.
I think this one's a pretty good one because I really like this question.
Okay.
So I was a little selfish in picking this one, but
You're selfish shellfish.
Bastard.
the email reads, "Hey gang,
Hi.
when are you guys gonna come do a real road trip in Arizona? I can
Ooh.
show you some cool sights in the desert. Anyway, who is your favorite fictional serial killer? Mine is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde,
Oh.
and
Oh.
it is signed Love and Snuggles from the Desert.
He wasn't really a
Angel.
serial killer though, was he? He wasn't. He was just a monster who.
He did kill people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not like I don't know. He's not a serial
Hey.
killer.
Thanks for the email. And it's okay that I like your choice too. I like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde story. Well, Nick, you were selfish shellfish. Go ahead and answer first.
Oh, why do I have to answer? I read it. Okay.
Oh, Vinny's raising his
Vinny
hand.
has his hand up. Yes, ma'am.
Dexter.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
He's a vigilante.
It's still a serial killer.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'm going to disagree
course.
on that.
Yeah.
What's yours, Captain Crunch?
He does cut the roof of your mouth up.
He does.
No, I don't. I wouldn't have Dexter as a serial killer. I would. He's a vigilante to me.
He's definitely a serial killer, though.
Okay. I thought he hunts down serial killers.
I think a vigilante, A, stops crime that they witness, and B,
They wear hockey pants.
Pads.
Hockey pads.
Oh, sorry.
Like I think
Pants.
Hockey pants.
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
I'm not wearing hockey pants.
Pads.
Whoops.
But Dexter also did at times kill to facilitate setting up for, I don't know, just somebody that he thought was bad. He didn't necessarily stop crime every single time.
It's not like he cut, somebody cut him in line and he killed him. But I'm just saying, he killed bad people.
But
to me, that's more of a vigilante.
people are people. It doesn't matter. Yeah, you can. I think you could be a vigilante without killing bad people, but you can't be a killer without killing bad people. Or without killing people. Like, he was a serial killer first. He learned to be a vigilante to nurture the serial killer within, not the other way around. That's why I'm right. Suck it.
I don't know.
Oh, guys.
You got really
All right. Yikes.
Thanks, email.
I still don't agree.
What?
Dan?
Still don't agree.
Well, you're wrong.
Anywho, moving right along, Dan.
Some favorites. I don't know if I have a favorite serial killer.
Fictional.
Fictional.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if I can't think of one that. I can't even think of one.
I got one.
Go ahead.
Sweeney Todd.
Okay, I don't know much about Sweeney Todd, so I don't know.
He was definitely a serial killer.
Oh,
He would bring
The Demon
people
Barber of
up
Fleet
to. Okay, rundown. His wife was kidnapped, and then he said he was told that she had died, but then they had a daughter, and he found out that who did it, and it was like this rich judge guy or whatever, and so I'm butchering this story. I can't even think of it.
go ahead.
He would lure people up to his barber shop with shaves and haircuts, and then he would slit their throat. They'd fall down into the trap door, and then they'd turn them into meat pies from the meat shop below. It's a really good movie. You should watch it.
So, what gave him his motivation to kill people?
Because he was getting revenge for his wife, and then they found out that the daughter was alive, and then I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, the only thing I know about Sweeney Todd is the Office episode where Andy sings in it.
Yes. No, that's actually a really good movie. It's a musical, but you should watch it. And I butchered that story because it's been a long time. Sorry, everybody that's raging right now.
They put Negan on this list.
What list is this?
Just serial killers that are fictional.
Oh.
Yeah, I searched that too, and like all of them are comic book.
I feel like having a serial
book
killer
villains.
trait, it has to be. You know what I mean? Like, you have to kill multiple people, and you have to do it with a certain motive.
Hannibal
Sweeney
Lecter.
Todd definitely was.
So, like,
Hannibal Lecter.
Negan to me isn't a serial killer either.
They put,
Harley Quinn's
he's a
on this
murderer,
list.
don't
they
get me
put
wrong.
Caleb off of Buffy the Vampire Slayer on the list.
He's a murderer.
I don't know who Caleb is.
But a serial killer has to have a motive. You know what I mean? Like, Negan just...
Oh, yeah. Scar from Full Metal Alchemist is on here. I agree with that. Everybody's like, what?
I don't know that.
It's good stuff. Good stuff. Well, do you have one at all?
Mine is... I got to go with John Doe from Seven. Kevin Spacey's character.
Yes,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
I feel it.
I
feel you,
loved
man.
I loved the theme of his killings, like using the
Sweeney Todd.
the seven sins or whatever.
Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal's on this list.
Whatever.
Dumb list.
Who made that?
I don't fucking
Wikipedia.
know.
It's a Wikipedia list.
I don't have one.
Okay. Well,
Not even like Hannibal Lecter or
Jigsaw.
Well, then, because your brother loves it so much, and we all really worry about that. What's your endorsement this week?
My endorsement? You know what? Mario Maker 2.
Hey, you like that?
I'm going to have to go ahead and... It's
like good stuff. Kane said you got it.
really fun.
I don't think we're going to buy it. We bought it for Christmas for the boys, the first one, but they didn't really play it all that much. So
That's
they could buy it themselves. They got jobs.
Yeah, that's...
I never
wanna play
played
it. I hope they buy it because I want to play it.
No.
It's fun.
I could buy it if I wanted it.
Well, yeah, obviously. No, you can't. You're grounded from
There's
the
another
game
thing I
store.
don't like about Season 3. Carrie Ellis is in it. I didn't need him. What the fuck were they thinking? Just because of Princess Bride was in the 80s?
Are you going back to?
Was Jake
Stranger
was
Things
the
here?
you know the like
Jake Busey
that was Jake
He was
Busey,
Jake
right?
Busey, yeah.
I thought
He
so.
played he played the stupidest part.
Just ridiculous.
And I'm like, you couldn't have gave him better lines than the annoying reporter guy.
They have
Like,
Lord Voldemort
blah
on
blah
this
blah blah
list.
sexual harassment blah blah
Yeah,
blah
I know.
blah.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey,
I don't
Nancy
think I agree
Drew.
with that.
I'm like, fuck, this is poorly written.
Oh.
There were some fun parts.
There
Don't get me
were.
wrong.
I woke up one night. He was watching in the bedroom, and I'm usually out. But I woke up one night and they were singing the Never Ending Story song. I'm like, oh, is he watching the Never Ending Story? No, it was Stranger Things. I was like, oh, well, that's okay. I guess.
Never Ending Story is better than Stranger Things season 3.
Never Ending Story is better than a lot of things.
Yeah.
That part in Stranger Things it
was awkward.
It was kind of cute, but at the same time, I'm like, we don't fucking need this.
It was too
Oh,
long.
no.
It didn't need it. Sorry, whatever. I'm just gonna go home and eat
Yeah.
some Chick-fil-A because I'm just in a bad mood.
That's your superpowers, Chick-fil-A.
No, my friend gave me a superpower and it was useless. It was making one flake of cereal every 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah, I remember
It's
that.
fucking dumb.
So if you guys at home have any thoughts, ideas, anything like that, maybe whether it's comic books that you'd like to see adapted into movies, your favorite serial killers that are fictional or non-fictional, or just something you'd like us to talk about here, definitely reach out to us. It's don'tlookunderthebedpodcast@gmail.com. You can go to our website. It's don'tlookunderthebed.net. Click on the Contact Us section of that. Also, we're on Twitter at DLUTB. Facebook at Don't Look Under the Bed. Don't Look Under the Bed podcast. Sorry. And if you want to help us do more of what we're doing and maybe take that trip to Phoenix or Arizona, the desert in general, anywhere.
Dessert?
I don't care where. I would just be happy to get out and see some stuff and talk about it with people. So you can definitely throw what's that?
Our 1 year's coming up.
Yeah, we got a 1 year anniversary coming
it
up
is.
July 13th. So this will have already aired. Or,
Yeah.
that will have already passed before this airs.
This comes out.
Yeah, July
So-
13th is like Saturday, isn't it?
Happy birthday.
Yep, 1 year.
Yay,
1 year, guys.
We're this many.
It's been it's been a good ride so far, and we want to keep doing it for sure. So, if you want to help us out with that, like I said, our Patreon site would love to see you. It's Patreon/DLUTB. You can donate to us directly at PayPal. That's just PayPal, and then our email address, which is don'tlookunderthebedpodcast@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can bring suitcases full of money, just cash.
Unmarked bills.
It doesn't matter. If they're
Laundered,
marked.
please.
Laundered,
Yes.
yes.
I like
Yes.
mine smelling good.
We like ours Tide
Fresh
Pods.
and
Tides. Tide
But,
bills.
But again, thank you guys for even just listening after the first year. I'm super proud of what we're putting out, and I
Yeah.
really like it, and I like all of you, even Brandon. And
Winning. Brandon.
so that's where I'm at this week.
Cool.
So
All right. Well, thanks again for listening to Don't Look Under the Bed podcast. Once again, I'm Dan Wonder. Next to me is
I could say my own name, Natalie Rose.
Natalie. Next to her is
Vinny Rose.
next to me is
Nicholas Myers is my last name.
Bye.
Bye.